Today, you proved once again there's no place like home. The race for the Democratic nomination is in the home stretch, and victory is in sight.
Note to the Democrats first, Republicans second. Enough already with this Bernie alternative nonsense and the second line of Hillary taking the oath in an orange jumpsuit. Time to stop dealing in the political nerd world. Let's get down to business. Hillary Clinton is going to be the Democratic nominee come November. That is where the focus has to be. And that means whomever represents the GOP needs to hammer away right now at her faults, and there are plenty of them to talk about. Still, though, keep in mind, plenty of people on the left don't care because they still believe she will beat anybody the right has to offer. Let's start there. Spin around the dial. Welcome back to the always outspoken veteran radio talker, heard at WHK 1420, The Answer in Cleveland, Ohio. Weekday mornings from 9 to 11 local time. Bob Frantz. Good to see you again, Bob. Let's go ahead and dig right into this because there are people who talk about Hillary Clinton and they use the phrase, the criminal arrogance of Hillary Clinton. But let's be honest, Bob. The Democrats still vote for her. They sent her to victory in New York. They're going to make her the nominee. It doesn't make a difference what she says or what she does. They are going to seek to put her in office. So then, is it not then endemic? The GOP, if you want to fight her, you got to get on this right now. You can't wait until November. You got to hammer away at this.
No question about it. And obviously, you know, when you start with a field on the GOP side of 17, it takes so long to winnow down to where we are now with 3, and it really should be 2. Hillary Clinton gets off scot-free. There should have been way more attention. Although I would say this, Ed, and it's good to be with you too, as always. You know, there were candidates from that GOP debate stage, even when there was a ton of them on there, that really were taking shots at her. Carly Fiorina zeroed in on Hillary Clinton. Chris Christie, for the most part, everything he talked about was Hillary Clinton. Marco Rubio did the same thing. So there was an effort by many on the GOP debate stage as this thing has gone on.
So what are they getting wrong, though, Bob?
Many faults. You're exactly right about that.
What are they getting wrong, though? If they've done it before, though, what are they getting wrong, and what do the Republicans need to do right now in order to put this front and center?
Well, Donald Trump is what they got wrong. They didn't expect he would be here this long. They didn't think he would continue to kind of be the monkey wrench in the works here. I think the GOP, both the Tea Party conservative part of the party and the establishment part of the party, just didn't think he would be a factor this long. He has come in and spent so much time attacking fellow Republicans, his rivals here, that he, as he says, he hasn't even started in on her. He's made it impossible for those left standing to start in on her either, because they have to deal with all of his attacks and his assaults. He's been the X factor, unplanned for and unprepared for. Because
he's done that, then, in your opinion, is Donald Trump the problem why more is not talked about the criminal arrogance of Hillary Clinton?
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. If he's so far and away the front runner as he thinks that he is, and his delegate count now after New York certainly says that he is, he should be zeroed in on her like a laser-like focus, and he's not. He's continuing to attack Ted Cruz, the lying Cruz. He's got the same old ad-lib talking points that he goes to again and again, and I know that sounds contradictory, but it's the same talking point list, and then he just kind of ad-libs them at every stop that he goes. He says he hasn't started in on her. Ed, it is late, well, mid to late April. This election is not far off. If you're going to be the guy and you're Donald Trump, you doggone well better start in on her because, as you say, there's a lot of fertile ground there to plow.
Okay, 2 minutes. Let's get a couple of quick things in here. Cleveland, close to your heart, of course, spending $20 million in federal money on riot and security gear for the Republican convention. How much fear is there in Cleveland right now of what may possibly be a riotous situation?
Well, there's a great fear, but it's not because of the people of Cleveland. That I can tell you. There have been 2 very high-profile cases here involving police and officer-involved shootings. One, of course, Tamir Rice. The other involving Mike Brelo in the shooting of 2 suspects. And there were expected to be riots and you know, somewhat violent protests there. They were kept very calm by the Cleveland police. Everything went off very, very well in the wake of those. So we're not fearful of the Cleveland people. We're fearful of the Revolutionary Communist Party USA. They're the ones pulling the puppet strings of Black Lives Matter. Those organizations are going to come here, protest Donald Trump, protest Ted Cruz, protest the GOP, and if there is to be trouble, it will be from outside sources like that. So it's only prudent for the Cleveland Police Department and the administration and the mayor's office to prepare for the worst.
60 seconds. John Kasich says, quote unquote, zero chance that he would accept the vice presidential ticket on a Donald Trump party line here. You go for that because, quite frankly, there's people out there right now thinking that they're already talking, and John Kasich would be happy to be VP.
Yeah, and Rudy Giuliani, who of course endorsed Donald Trump, is one of the latest to say, I would love that ticket, a Trump Kasich ticket. I think John Kasich is capable of anything. I think he's a lot more duplicitous than people realize. People call him the dad of the party. He's the guy that looks steady and solid. He's the adult in the room, et cetera, simply because he is not engaged in a lot of the barbs thrown back and forth between Donald Trump and other people, primarily because Donald Trump has ignored him. But you put him in a situation of contention, and yes, he is a very, very duplicitous guy, in my opinion. He would absolutely accept a VP nomination, but he's got his eye on the polls that say he's the only one who consistently beats Hillary. He's hoping for a third, fourth, fifth, sixth ballot victory as the nominee for the Republicans.
Next time you come back, we're going to have to talk about that duplicitous line. Weekday mornings, 9 to 11, WHK 1420, The Answer in Cleveland. Bob Frantz, thanks for joining us. Go ahead and tell us this. Really, you heard what he just said here, what Bob Frantz just said. Do you think that John Kasich would accept the VP ticket to Donald Trump? And is he duplicitous? Lots of good fodder to hit there. Coming up next, telling it like it is on The Hard Line.